kindness is economically sound, that it's good business to be good to other people, and it's good for an economy to take care of each other, and that if one of us is hurting, it will hurt all of us. That sounds like a platitude, but when people don't have health insurance, they go to the emergency room and pass the charge on to the local taxpayer. It's actually true. So it's not just moral for us to look out for each other and to be kinder to each other than other generations have been. It's economically sound. It's smart to be kind. I like when people tell me whether they believe in climate change or not, and I'm like, what do you mean believe? It's science. You don't believe in it or not believe in it. You don't have opinions on it. It's science. It's like you don't have opinions on whether the sky might be blue, because science tells us why it's blue. So I don't have views on it. I have facts on it. I have reality on it. I have the overwhelming world scientific consensus on it. I guess my view is that we're well past the point of what can we do to prevent disaster. Now the next generation is going to be the generation that has to be the most adaptable generation.
Well, your parents are an inspiration to all, and their story, their amazing story, which I've seen on Twitter and many times, but their love story is one to be admired.
So, very kind of you.
What a wonderful background to have. What a wonderful.
It's a pretty weird background to have, to tell you the truth. Once you realize your mother used to be a nun for 16 years and your father was a Franciscan, and then you go through a period of thinking, well, wasn't everyone like that? And then you realize, no, not everyone's like that.
Yeah.
And then you get to this point where I realized what a vow of celibacy was, and that my parents once promised God I would never happen. So there's a lot of wonderful confusion and guilt that goes along with that. But it teaches you to live with chaos, I guess.
I know. And then your father seemed to love your mother so much. Well, I'm sure she loved him just as much back. And you said even, he was always showing her affection. And that's lovely to show your sons, that you should never be afraid of showing affection to the woman you love. I
think that's the greatest gift you can give a boy.
Yeah,
one of the greatest gifts you can give a boy is showing him a father who's madly in love with his partner.
Right.
Yeah. A film about the American dream, and what the American dream was, and what it is, and what it could still be. And we trace the journey that Alexis de Tocqueville took in 1830 when he came over to the States to write a report on our prison system for the French government, but it wound up being the book Democracy in America, which gave birth to the idea that you could work really hard and play by the rules and rise in society. That's the American dream. It's really the dream of every human in every country. But this was a movie about what had happened to that upward mobility in our country. And we did 200 interviews in 55 cities in like 17 states. And we were in jails and homeless shelters and the offices of billionaires, and it was a really amazing experience. I got to talk to some amazing people and go to some amazing places. It was 5 years ago this month. We set a record for the deepest radio show in history in Bermuda, and I did an hour-long radio broadcast from 1,002 feet below the Bermuda Triangle in a two-man submersible. It was a pretty surreal experience.
Yes, you walked away thinking, I wish they'd have asked me that.
That's a great question. I'd love to geek out about things, but I don't really get asked about the things I'm geeky about. So, normally I get asked about things like religion and politics and comedy and George Harrison, if anyone ever were to ask me about Bob Dylan or Star Wars or Godfather movies, I'd be delighted. It's fun to geek out about stuff. That's the secret I've learned interviewing. If you have a big celebrity guest, that they're doing a job and they're so bored of answering the same dumb questions. So try to ask the kind of questions they love to talk about, and it really, really makes things come alive.